Now, Positively Ernie with Ernie Anastos, a New York TV legend and radio host with great positive stories and interviews.
Thanks, Ernie. You're the best.
And now, here's Ernie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'd love to have you here. I really enjoy doing this, and you know that. Every time you tune in, I've always got some great guests. And it's all about positivity. I like to talk about lifestyle, relationships, just an attitude about life, how we can take a problem and maybe find a solution to it. I like to deal with positivity. It's very important to me. I've been reporting the news in New York for some 40 years. I've covered every story you can imagine. And now I have an opportunity to tell people good things that are happening. When we're talking about a positive attitude and a positive lifestyle, there's also something about a positive look. And looking good is very important. It's part of making you feel good. I've got a very special guest here today, and he's extraordinary. And I can't wait to talk to him, and I want you to meet him. His name is Julien Farel. And let's say hi to him right now. Hi, Julien. How are you?
Bonjour.
Bonjour, monsieur. Oh, beautiful. Très bien. Obviously, you know, you've got a beautiful French background from the south of France. A lot of people know you. Because you're a pretty famous guy in many ways, because you help people really look good. Julien has his own salon. He is an incredible hairstylist and a person who really understands what it is to look good and to feel good. He's got a Park Avenue address. He also is in Palm Beach and located right now. A lot of exciting things are happening at the U.S. Open. And you, Julien, have had a pop-up salon there, if you will, since 2007.
Correct.
And you deal with the biggest names. I mean, Coco Gauff.
Coco Gauff.
Djokovic.
Yes.
Nadal.
Iga Swiatek, Wawrinka.
Yeah.
Azarenka. You can go all. There's the Williams sister and on and on and on. We've been very fortunate to have built this relationship over time since 2007, because when we opened in 2007,
yes,
we were just like, people were looking at us like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, what's a beauty
and
salon?
we start doing the hair, and now we build a relationship, and now you look forward to see those young athletes, this great energy every year.
Let me ask you something now. You take care of them. You cut their hair. You
braid and
all of that,
style
right?
them.
Do you do it before or after or both?
Both. Both. And we see now, since we have a location in Florida, some of the players, we see them there because they train in Florida during the, cold month.
Yes.
And then they come for different services like highlight and little color touch-up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it's a kind of great to see a continuity and a synergy between the pop-up, our salon in Manhattan at the Regency Hotel, and also at the Breakers in Palm Beach.
You know, Julien, people who are listening and watching us right now are saying, you deal with so many extraordinary people. And I don't know if you want to give away any secrets, but when people say, okay, I don't know, Billie Jean King, when she comes in, or Chrissy Everett, you know what they want, you know what they like, or do you make suggestions?
Well, first of all, they're just like you and I. They're people.
Yeah.
Or like your audience, right?
Yeah.
They're people with feeling, with wishes. So usually you listen to them to see what is their thought. Then you can suggest. But what I thought is a lot of time people forgot to listen. They just jump into it.
Yes.
Without asking, right? It's like if you go to a restaurant, it's like, I want to eat. And they bring you whatever they want. Like, hold on. And you need to have some kind of road to move forward.
Of course. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because, what I do, interviewing people, I have to listen. And I have to pay attention to what you're saying so I can respond to it. And I'm glad you said that. So you listen to what your client would like.
Sure.
And then you try to follow that. But at the same time, as a professional, because you've got an eye for this, you're a professional, you're trained.
Correct.
You give them some suggestions, which I'm sure they welcome.
The best way to see, I think it's important, and I will tell your audience, is to show picture. today we get lucky because you have your phone right
Absolutely.
here. You can pick up a picture. Because often what the client asks you and have in mind is different than what you have in mind. So if a client tell you, I want to be a Californian blonde, there is 100 ways how to do Californian blonde and 100 different shades of what someone is going to call Californian blonde.
Yes.
So by flipping some picture, celebrity or anything, then you can find the right tone. And that's the same thing about a haircut. You need to make sure you do it all based on proportion.
Yeah.
The way I work hair is I work like an architect. I have learned like an architect.
I can understand
to
that.
build a volume
Yeah.
on a space.
I like the way you
So
think.
it's very geometry in a space. And that's the way you want the client to stand up so you can see the proportion of her shoulder, her body, her neck,
Right.
her hairline, her cheekbone, her
Yes.
jaw.
Yes.
And then you can build something together. And then you explain. And I'm sure you heard about this famous week, where Donna Vicky came with her hair, winning her game, say, I want a Banks. I need a Banks right now. You're the only one who can cut me a Banks.
And you did it.
And we did it.
Of
Yeah,
course
that
you
was
did it.
wonderful.
And a great job,
That
too.
was wonderful.
I'm sure that, Julien, you also have to pay attention. As you said, as an architect, you look to see everything. But also age is a factor. And I think that sometimes, a person who's at a certain stage of life, you have to treat that hair and that look differently.
Correct.
Because you don't want them to look like they're trying to look young. You want them to fit in. Do you agree with that?
I'm all in for that. My point is we want to look fresh, but we don't want to try to look like my teenager daughter.
Right.
That's the bottom line. And I think there is appropriate style and look for everyone. And it's about respecting, explaining, and showing what you're going to look. And more important is you want to look great, you want to feel great, and you want to make someone comes, go home, and whoever they see, their spouse, their partner, their children, their friend, to say, oh my God, you look amazing.
You look amazing.
But they don't know what you did.
Yeah.
That's
a
the
good thing.
This is a big thing. I
Yes.
always say with the cheaper surgeon, because with the hair, you can change somebody's mood.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I mean, when you look good, you feel good.
Correct.
And that is so important. I mean, your hair, obviously. I think personally, hair is one of the very first things you look at when you see a person.
And you have your crown all time.
Yeah.
It's not like a suit or a dress where you can change designer or buy another one or swap. Here, you wake up. If it's not fitting you, you are stuck.
So, yes, that's right. So you're fitting the personality of the person, all right?
Yes.
But at the same time, there is a thing called fashion and trend and style. So you have to keep up with all of that. We depend on you to be able to say, you know what, this is the look that's really doing well these days. Do you follow, like, for example, do celebrities set the tone for that?
They do. I mean, I'm sure you saw during the European Cup, the soccer player for the men. We have those requests, and then you need to explain that touch part of our clientele, not all. I don't see a businessman going to want his hair shaved on the front.
I know.
And having a long back.
Right.
It just doesn't fit the purpose. And some of them, sometimes they come and they say, this is really hard. You see yourself tomorrow going to present your mega business at your board meeting. And that is the reality. The reality is what I believe is we are fashion-oriented.
Yes.
But we are classic with a twist of fashion. The same way like Chanel, Prada, Valentino, Hermes are. This is what we are.
Absolutely.
We're not crazy downtown people. We still represent a clientele who are conservative, but what I say with a twist of fashion.
Right.
And, sometimes adding a Banks could change totally somebody's look.
Yeah. But, it's such an art. It really is. And it's a gift to be able to do that. And you have to look at a person as the whole picture. Color is very important, too.
As well.
Because many times, if it's the right color, it changes the whole appearance and the whole personality of the person.
As well, the eyebrow.
Yes.
Eyebrow and the makeup, it's a whole fit who works together to really make you look.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole complement into it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, too, because I know I interviewed somebody a while back, and I was asking, a lot of people get very nervous and anxious, and there's a lot of anxiety about different things. I said, what's the problem? What's the problem today in our society and the way we live? And this was a very smart person. She was, I think she was a social scientist from Harvard. And she said, I'm going to give you something, Ernie. She said, it's very simple, but she said, there's a lot of truth to it. I said, what is it? She says, part of the problem that we have is we have too many choices. You can choose from everything, every product, everything you could ever imagine. There are 15, 20, 30 multiples of that. And she's right, because, I go in to buy, let's say, toothpaste, and I look at one brand, and they must have 15 different choices. Now, when it comes to hair products, I love to go shopping, and my wife and I just enjoy it. I'll go into any kind of store. I don't have to buy anything sometimes. I just like to shop. But when I look around and I see everything that's available, it makes me crazy, because I figure, what if you buy that and then it's the wrong thing? But when I look at the products for hair and my wife's makeup and so forth, I look for anything, shampoos, body wash. There's so much out there. You have your own line. How do you create your own line of products?
I just think it's about curated. So the way I look at it is, I have a hard time to believe in 2024 we're using the same products that I start in 1982 in my grandmother's kitchen using.
Really?
It's all about, the way it's branding. But for me, hair is a gift.
Yes.
Right? And as man or woman, when you reach your 20 and you start to feel like, oh my God, your hair's getting thinner, you start to be like, okay, what do I do wrong?
Yeah.
And this is important to understand, hair cannot be washed 3 times a day. And this is one of the message I try to tell my friend at Nike who rep all those beautiful young athletes.
Right.
I said, they wash their hair too many times.
How many times should we wash our hair? A week?
I would say at maximum every other day.
Every other day.
Maximum.
That sounds like a good plan.
Right?
Yeah.
If depending of the hair, of course. But what you want is to protect is your scalp. And you can't not wash your natural nourishing oil. If you over wash them, you basically use detergent who's taking them away. That means it's like a garden where you suddenly never give any water.
Right.
And there is no more hydration. Then,
but Julien,
grass doesn't grow on sand.
I like that. That's a good analogy. But can you put some of that back in, because there are so many products, again, where you can put a mask, you can end up using conditioners, you can use an oil. Should we use that kind of thing? Or
the problem of that is when you take off your natural of motherhood, you can't bring back those natural oil. Right. So putting some silicone, what is mostly in a conditioner or mask or oil, and most of the oil, they're not even natural. They cut with some silicone, so they're plastic. They build you some plastic around the hair to feel good, so it feels smooth.
Yeah,
but that doesn't penetrate.
I see.
What you want is something who penetrate. So for me, having the right shampoo, having something who doesn't destroy your hair, that is your capital beauty. That is what's going to keep
right. Yeah, right. It's interesting because I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about a lot of different questions. You talked about men's hair as well. And you talked about, the shaved look and so forth. Now, a lot of men prefer to have a shaved head, which is kind of an interesting look these days. And at one time, if someone was losing their hair, if they were bald or something, it was like, oh, that's your telephone? That's okay. You want to answer it? Go ahead. We don't mind doing that. Oh, it's probably mine. Okay, let me see. No, I'm not going to pick this up right now. I'll just wait. Hey, this is what I like about doing TV, okay, especially live television. So anyway, that shaved look that looks really nice on a lot of guys.
But here we go.
Yeah.
You can shave your hair.
Yeah.
You do like whatever Britney Spears have done a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
You shave your hair. Then you grow. That is your choice. The main problem you have is when a man or woman don't have hair, where their hair left them without their choice.
Yeah.
Because of a disease, because of your heredity, because of the fact is you're destroying your hair follicle. That is a real problem.
That makes sense, yeah.
That is where, for me, it's the most difficult part of it.
Yeah. I've got some family members who have that look, and they look pretty sharp, and they feel good about it. Julien, I could go on and talk to you for a long time. You and I talked a little bit before we went on about how it takes time to build something.
Yes.
And whatever it happens to be, building a career, building a relationship, building a family, building a structure, a building, and how much time and care it takes. You started when you were very young, and now you've built up your company. And you've got this reputation. How difficult is it, to maintain all of that with competition and everything that's out there?
2 words: work and perseverance. I think, I started 14 years old.
Yeah.
I came in America at 92. I was signed by this French company. Then I get recruited by Chanel. And then I went on in 94, and in 2001 I went on my own. And the way I look at it is a lot of young generation, young kids, they want to win. They want to become a millionaire, a billionaire before they even started. Their first question is, how much you pay me?
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I said, I worked so many times for free because I wanted to go where I wanted to go. And you can't ask big bucks to get where you want to go when there is no opportunity.
I agree with you.
So if you work for free, people give you a chance to follow them, to learn your craft. And, talking about tennis, it's like winning a tennis match. Is you build it point by point.
Yes.
And that's how you build a victory. And it's the same thing about a business. And I especially like the speech of Roger Federer at Dartmouth this year, where he have done an incredible speech, but so true on every aspect, is to build a victory. We are so all almost equal. And he was saying, out of all the game you have played, what is 1800 and plus, he only won 54% of those points.
Interesting, right?
But he say, when you make a point and you lose a point, you lose, it's gone.
Yes.
And you just move forward for the next one. And for the future, we can't change the past. We learn out of it.
Right.
We don't know the future. What we know is learning how to live in the now.
You're right.
And that's where many people fail. And there is one thing I will add is what we have the most, because I passed 50, and I realize that is time.
Sure.
Time is everything.
Time is everything.
And you
it's
can't redo the time.
Right.
With your children, with your parents, with your friend, with your family, with work. And if you don't like something, if you are to work and you hate it, do something else. Take some risk, get out.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to look back to say oh, I should, oh, I wish, oh,
exactly.
I could have.
Exactly. I woulda, coulda, shoulda. I understand that. And I like what you said about Roger Federer. He's a great tennis player, and what a wonderful speech he made. These are people of inspiration. And people who look to you and look to me many times for advice, we try to pass it along. I think everything that you and I have been talking about, and I agree 100% because I worked for free as well. And you know what's interesting about that? And I'm not someone who likes to talk about money. I just think that money is there, we need it, but I don't like to make that,
about
my idol. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I do remember that I didn't chase the money, and then the money chased me because I kept doing what I was doing, and then people liked it, and I was delivering, and they would pay me for it, which was great. So I like what you said about putting the value on what you're doing. There's a word to me that I think sums up a lot of what you and I are talking about. Passion.
Passion. That's all about this.
You got to love it.
People have to feel like you don't work for the money.
Right.
You work because you want them to look good. This is like a craft you want to achieve, like a tailor where he's customized a suit for you and he's going to do with your all proportion of your body.
Yeah.
He doesn't just do it because of the cash. He does it with his heart.
Yes.
And I think, I'm sure you remember that movie called Jerry Maguire.
Oh, sure.
This is a reality.
Show me the money.
Work with your heart.
Yeah.
The money will come in abundance.
Exactly.
More than you ever expected.
Totally. Now, it's wonderful. Now, people are listening, watching, and they're saying, I want to meet him. I want to go to him. Let's let everybody know how they can reach you. I know you have several salons, and if people want to reach out, tell them where you're located and how they can get in touch.
So you can reach us at julienfarel.com, by Instagram to DM us at Julien Farel, and we're located at Park Avenue at the Regency Hotel on 61st and Park Avenue in New York City, as well as the Breakers in Palm Beach at Royal Poinciana Way. Mm-hmm. And then we have our pop-up. But if you DM us, I don't do all our Instagram, but okay. I'm on it every day, so yes. I answer. I'm very into it because at the end of the day, we just want to help people.
Exactly.
That's it. And answer their question. And it doesn't matter what is it, but the most important in life is to feel like you have a purpose.
Oh, I like that. I talk about purpose a lot. You're so right, Julien. If you have a sense of what you're doing and why you're doing it, it changes your life. I use a quotation very often. Don't strive for success. Strive for significance.
Yeah.
Do something with your life like you're doing that helps people. That you leave a mark somewhere that says, I did something to help people feel better about themselves, to look better about themselves.
When I will stop working, because at some point you will, I work with shears, and the day your hands start to shake a little bit and you will have to stop, and I will go to school to do speeches, to help people, to tell them how incredible our industry is.
Yes.
Because many people today, they just chase the money. They don't understand that if you want to come in a hair, you can make so much. You can have so much opportunity. You can introduce to so many amazing things. You travel the world. You do an incredible job. It's a passion, but it's also a craft who has to be done with your heart.
Right.
Mostly important is to understand that you have to discover what you love. I have two girls, right?
Yeah.
A teenager going to college. One starts college. The other one is a junior in high school.
Okay.
And I tell them, do what you love.
Yes.
I don't care what is it.
Right.
Do what you love and become the best out of it.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to be easy every day.
Yeah.
But you have to keep moving forward. My favorite quote is from Rocky Balboa, right?
Okay.
Life is not how many punch you can make,
right,
but how many you can take and keep moving forward.
I like that.
Because life is not roses and rainbow.
Exactly. It can be tough.
It can be tough.
But when you have a good attitude like you have, Julien, that has served you very well. You've done extremely well, and we're very proud of you.
Perseverance.
And hard work.
I came in America 22 years old.
Yeah.
Speaking no English, knowing nobody.
Your English
sleeping
is great.
on the floor in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Now I speak English, Italian, French, of course, some Spanish, and many other little essential words in every languages.
But that's like the American dream.
This is the American dream. There is nothing like America. People take advantage of, they don't take advantage, they take for granted.
Yes.
The American blue passport. They have no idea. This is gold.
It is.
This is above gold.
Well, I say merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous.
Yeah, thank you. Très bien. You did a great job today.
It was wonderful.
Honor to talk with you. I mean, Julien Farel, you really have added so much to my program. When I bring on a guest, there's one thing that I look for, and you have it.
Well, thank
Sincerity.
you. Merci beaucoup.
You're a very sincere individual. I look at you eyeball to eyeball, and I know you're a good person. And what you said, you really believe in. Congratulations.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, okay? Julien Farel, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful interview this was. Congratulations. Au revoir. And have a wonderful time, okay? We'll be looking for you. U.S. Open, everywhere else. New York, Palm Beach, the world. He's a great guy. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you'll watch us next time on Positively Ernie. Bye.